Can they? It was election law. I looked at it and I saw what happened in Arizona. Every state's different, like Tennessee. You can't even, have a libertarian party. I'm like, I always got to stay. I'm like, what up with that? There's some ass whipping need to be done there. So then I ran as a write-in 1990. Nice signs, man. I mean, they were Declaration of Independence stuff. We made them silk screen ourselves in the backyard, hundreds of them, put them up everywhere, and they're going, what a stupid kid. He's doing a write-in campaign, and he's spending all this money and doing all. I knew I was going to be doing this for at least a decade. I met with my wife. She and I went out. Our birthdays are in late March, so together we celebrate. In late '89, we went to up in the desert in North Phoenix, and we sat there and I explained to her what I thought was going to happen. I've seen in this, before they even called it New World Order, I could see what was happening. They would control all commerce. You'd have on this list of who got access to this data and who determined what could be on that was the NSA. Before they hadn't even admitted that they had NSA before, So you have the NSA, the CIA, Secret Service, on and on, but there was no Small Business Administration. There was no, for this kind of basic stuff, I'm going, I see what's going on. Cato did a big story. Later on, a decade later, I looked it up and I saw Cato had done a policy thing on it. They understood what was happening. So then I'm going, all right, I need to go after these guys. I'm a 20-something-year-old kid, got all kinds of fire. Man, they pissed off the wrong guy, okay? I'm like, ooh, they have no idea what's coming. So they, and I go, Donna, I can't fight home too. I need your support. You need to commit to give me 10 years to do this, or I'm not even going to try. I can't have that, oh, I love you, honey, yeah, whatever you said. Little did she know. You got to learn 10 recipes, 16 recipes, whatever for beans. I just want you to understand this. We got to get small, and we did. We moved into a small apartment, 4 kids, 2 dogs, 2 bedrooms. I mean, we rock and rolled. Loved it. Because I said, we got to do it now. The kids little, they don't know any different, So we went ahead and did that. What happened was, I could see that they prevented opposition. In Arizona, a lot of states are similar. You could run as a Republican or Democrat, or you could do independent, and you had to get 2 or 3 times the signatures that Republicans and Democrats did, but you had only 9.5 days to get the signatures, only from people that didn't vote in the primary, and that was only the way you could get on the ballot in the general. I go, wow. And the only way you could register somebody to vote was you had to be a Republican or Democrat. You had to be selected by the county officers in that party, Republican or Democrat. They had to give you a seal of approval that you took to the county recorder and elections department there, and then they could make you a deputy registrar to register libertarians. Or anybody. Of course, you had to be Republican or Democrat, so you couldn't register, you wouldn't be registering libertarians. So libertarians couldn't do it. Independents couldn't do it. I'm going, wow, really? I mean, really? Because for the first time, I did what you did. I read the Constitution straight through. I get to the 14th Amendment. You can't give special rights or privileges that don't equally apply to everybody. Well, whatever your opinion might be on the 14th Amendment, I'm thinking, well, that's pretty clear. They have given special rights and privileges to the JC Club. So I'm going, wow, this is like, rubbed me the wrong way. So I ran as a write-in just so I could get standing to file a lawsuit. In July 3rd, 1991, I filed a lawsuit that challenged 44 election laws in this state of Arizona. When I did this, it went all the way to the Ninth Circuit. They kept changing the laws so that they go, we need to stay on this one more, session. Our legislative session's coming in. We're going to want to stay on this. We're going to change some of these. Then it dragged out. Oh, we're going to change it again. So they kept putting it off because they knew that all of the stuff that I was bringing up was. I'll give you an example. You had the voter database that the parties get for free. Independents pay for this. They have no access to it. You got to pay 10 cents a name to get it. $200,000-$300,000 to be on an even keel with a party member? Really? In 1979, this is where Watergate comes in. During Watergate, after that happened, just like now, everybody said, I'm had it with parties. Screw them, man. I'm not giving any money. I'm not helping. The parties know this. All of a sudden, nobody's donating for their conventions and so on. All of a sudden, now you have they did it in the anti-communism. In Arizona, they passed laws, the entire election law, Title 16, they threw it in the trash and totally rewrote it. In 1979, they passed this, and what it was is, in the name of anti-communism, we have established the two-party system. We have a multi-party system. Two. Okay? So when they did this, the reason is that, they did it, so that we don't have this Communist Party thing. And that's what they called it. Are you going to vote against a Patriot Act? You see my point? Okay? So they passed this. It's 1990 or so here, and there were two legislators that I knew that were in office back here. A guy named Bill Hart from Globe, Arizona, and someone I keep running after later, Jane D. Hall, later became governor. And I asked Bill Hart, I called him on 4th of July, told him at home. I go, Bill, I just got to ask you a question, man. When you guys did this and everything back then, blah, 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 why did you do that? He goes, well, eliminate third-party opposition, boy, can't you read? Okay, I'm good. I get it. I go to, during this process here, before I ran here, it was a Christmas break, between Christmas and New Year's in I think it was 1990. And, no, it was 1989. My wife's brother is now about 40 years old. He is an economist at Moody's. So you can imagine the conversations we've had over the years. Well, and he's coming around. He just read Atlas Shrugged, so I think he gets it now. So what happened was, during that time at Penn State, he was a junior. They go to Pennsylvania, where my wife is from, State College there. I got to go down to Washington, Deacon Cini's offices allowed me to do whatever, set up meetings, more faxes with the fax on it and so on. So I get a meeting with the head of the National Trade Data Bank. This is the part of this Omnibus Trade Dependence Act that I was, all hot on. I go in, it's during the holidays, hardly anybody's there. They come in just for this meeting because I had Senator on my fax, right? Big halls. I mean, these hallways are about as big as this room. You go in a lot of these bureaucracies, man, you drive trucks down them, all right? You go in the big marble and the stone, whatever, and you go to this, knock, knock, knock. I go in, has his aide there, and he's nervous, man. They got found out, man. No, dang it. He didn't have a get-out-of-jail-free card, but the other guy does, all right? So I go, his name was Jack Cremines, okay? Hello. So you go to Jack Cremines, he's director of this thing. They sent me down, we go into his office, has a big coffee table, and I have my brother-in-law sitting there, and we were just having fun, young guys. And I said, look, I understand what's going on, I know what you guys are doing, I need access to this data, I can see what's going on around here, all I want is you guys to obey the law here, and I'll be good. And I put it towards him, and I said, I know what you're doing. He pushes it right back to me, looks me in the eye, and he goes, yeah, kid, and what are you going to do about it? Validation galore. The whole time before that, I'm crazy. There's not really an effort to blah, blah, blah. There is no such thing as this collective that's trying to rip you all off so they can do whatever they want and trade, and you can't. Eventually you're not going to be able to directly trade with other countries. My father wouldn't be able to directly ship to someone without permission. And you see my point? So I knew what was coming. I could see the structure, the framework of what they were trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, kid, what are you going to do about it? Boom. Immediately I'm going, wow, I don't know. What can one person do? You know what? I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. From that moment on, I understood where the problem was. It was us. So I go, well, let's go find out. That's when I started to realize how election laws were done in order to eliminate opposition for exactly this kind of stuff from people exactly like me. We don't want you to compete. We don't want you to you got to get like the party approval. You just went through the Ron Paul thing. What, you don't get it? You know what? And I wasn't a congressman. You think I have a chance? You see my point? So I'm going, okay, we're going to challenge the election laws. It goes all the way to the Ninth Circuit, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. We had two other suits that were identical that I was doing also for them because we tried different tactics. Okay, same identical lawsuits, three different people. Okay. So then one of them, an old 88-year-old curmudgeon, yeah, let's go get him, man. He's one of them. He makes it all the way through. I get a precedent. A lot of the laws are changed. It's a lot better now than it was, but I get a precedent set. I go later, I want to use this in another case that the Arizona State Party had. We wanted to cite that, yeah, you know, you don't have the right to internally manage the state party's First Amendment right of association, blah, blah, blah.